Good afternoon, everyone. I am Stockton City Manager Harry Black. This afternoon, you will also be hearing from Stockton Police Chief Stanley McFadden and Stockton Mayor Kevin Lincoln. As we will continue to do throughout this ordeal, we wanted to provide a situational update to the public this afternoon. First, I would like to extend condolences to the victims and their families. Please know that we are doing everything that we can to keep the city safe and to apprehend what looks like to be a single person who has committed these crimes, although we continue to chase down evidence to definitively confirm this fact. Daily, Stockton Police Department monitors numerous data points related to crime throughout the city. As such, we know what the city's historical patterns are when it comes to crime, not unlike how we know about our own personal health. As we know ourselves, we know our city as it relates to crime. Through its daily data analysis protocol, Stockton PD has discovered an irregularity in the standard pattern of crime this year. This series of homicides is abnormal for Stockton, and as such, Stockton PD has stood up a task force, including its own resources and resources of our external partners. Chief McFadden will talk more about this shortly. In addition, we are offering an unprecedented $95,000, now $115,000 reward for information that directly leads to the capture of this person. At this time, you will hear from Chief McFadden, and then he will be followed by Mayor Kevin Lincoln, after which we will entertain a couple of questions. Chief.
As I said before, we would reconnect with all of you when we have some more case developments, and that's why we're here today. I first want to address the comments regarding Stockton having a serial killer. You know, that's what's been messaged. That's the big question that we keep being asked. By definition, these shootings are a series of killings, and so we do believe we could have potential serial killer. That's how we're going to treat it as such. At this time, we don't know if it's a person or persons. As I said before, we have absolutely no evidence that connects a person or persons to any of these incidences. But we are still receiving tips, and we still will continue to review those tips, and hopefully more information will come forward. We have some video footage that we're going to show you here today. It's going to be a very short video. And when you all see the video, I want you to pay close attention to the uneven stride that this person has. Again, this person is a person of interest. Again, we have no evidence that connects this person as committing any of these crimes, but it's a person that we are interested in talking to. Also with that, we also want you to notice just how upright this person's posture is. You know, I like to think we all have a normal gait and walk about us when we walk around, but this person's posture is extremely upright and it's noticeable. That's something else that you'll be able to notice on a video once we show that. With that, as far as interconnecting these cases, we've done that through ballistics, and once you start working with ballistics, the process gets very slow. It takes a long time to confirm the information, and it takes a long time to get those official reports. But we do have ballistic evidence that are linking our cases, and accompanied with some video footage as well. We have 7 cases linked, and I'm just going to give some quick stats on these cases. We find that the average age of the victim is 42. We find that the sex of the victims are mostly male. We also find that the races are mostly Hispanic as well. I'm going to talk about the days between these incidences that we believe may have a connection. Between the incident 1 and 2, there are 6 days. In between incident 2 and 3, there's 448 days, which is quite some time from when the incident 2 happened as compared to when incident 3 had occurred. Between incident 3 and 4, it was 34 days. Between incidents 4 and 5, it was 19 days. Between incidents 5 and 6, it was 22 days. And between incidents 6 and 7, it was 6 days. Of these 7, one of them occurred outside the city. It occurred in Oakland, and we've been partnering with Oakland Police Department to have tabletop discussions as far as what information we have. Another development we've had is we had the opportunity to interview our only surviving victim. The circumstances regarding this victim took place last year. This was a black female adult. She was in her tent when she heard someone walking around her campsite. When she came out of her tent, she encountered someone holding a gun at her. There's multiple shots at her as she tried to defend herself by advancing at the suspect. At that time, the suspect lowered his or her shooting platform. She provided us a description of what she believed that person was at the time of the incident. She described that person between 5'10" and 6 foot, wearing all dark clothing, wearing a dark COVID-style mask that was concealing his face, and wearing a dark jacket as well. As she said, there's no words mentioned at all. As you heard, the reward amount keeps increasing. And I'm not surprised. I've met some incredible people in this community that are passionate about this community. I think when trauma occurs, that's when we're stronger in this community, and it shows that. I anticipate the reward to continue to increase. I think it's in excess of $100,000 right now. And I want to thank everyone from the media, the community leaders. Everyone has really rolled up their sleeves and tried to provide us tips. We have the tip line open. People are serious about this. A lot of people are calling in. They're emailing. Hey, how about this person? Hey, take a look at this. I'm glad that we're all doing the heavy lifting together, and that's what makes Stockton great. As we continue to get more information, we're going to continue to outreach with everyone. I want to thank the men and women in this police department that have not gone home. That's how serious they have been about these cases. I want to thank our law enforcement partners. All of our neighboring agencies have reached out. I spoke again with the sheriff today. He's given us all his resources at our disposal, including technology that they're onboarding. So everyone is in this together. We have our state and federal partners that are doing some heavy lifting with some of our video processing and other evidence that is very time-consuming to get through. But we've built an all-star team of dedicated folks that have the skills, knowledge, and ability to bring a capture to this person. Now I want to turn over to Mayor.
Thank you, Chief. As we're gathered here this afternoon to discuss this recent string of homicides that we've known that they're interconnected, let's not forget the fact that to date, the city of Stockton, we've suffered the loss of 43 total Stocktonians. There's not a word that can be said, there's nothing that we could do that will bring back those lost loved ones. So my deepest and heartfelt condolences to the families of those victims of the senseless act of violence. There's one thing I know about the city of Stockton, is that we are resilient. And when we experience and we go through adversity, like the chief said, we come together, we find a way. We've had to do that over these last few years, beginning with COVID and now to where we're at today. So my expectation, and I know that that is not going to change for the city of Stockton. The chief has mentioned just a moment ago, he's assembled a task force of professionals and experts that I know will not stop until justice is served. But the bottom line is we cannot do this without the help of the community. I want to thank our community partners, because this is a public-private nonprofit partnership that's taking place right now in order to bring justice to those families who deserve it right now, who've lost those loved ones. That's the least that we could do for these families, is help bring some sort of justice and closure to these families. And a big part of that is getting this individual or these individuals off the street. And that's what we're committed to here in the city of Stockton. So, to the constituents and to the residents of the city of Stockton, you're empowered. You're empowered right now to submit information that you may know that leads to the arrest of an individual or individuals that are responsible for these murders. to the small business community that have stepped up and have donated generously to the city of Stockton to aid in these efforts, thank you very much. To our faith-based community that continues to pray every single day, thank you for the sacrifices that you're making. Thank you for holding this city up. We cannot do it without you. And I want to encourage you to continue to do those things, because we know that it takes work to get these things done. And that's what we're committed to in the city of Stockton. That's what the chief and the team of professionals that this city has with the Stockton Police Department and our outside agencies that are partnering, that's what they do. That's what they do. So community, continue to do what you're doing in this process, and we're going to continue to do what we're going to do in this process. God bless you all. God bless Stockton.
We're going to show the video at this time.
Okay, thank you. We'll take a couple of questions if there are any.
Chief, do the characteristics of the victims suggest anything about a motive here?
That's one thing we don't know. We don't know what the motive is. What we do believe is that it's mission oriented, right? This person's on a mission. Just appears to be very fluid and intentional in what that one person or multiple people are doing.
So he's targeting certain people, it seems like?
Well, we don't know what to be, because we've had male, we've had female, we've had different races. So at this time, we don't know exactly what they're targeting. We've had folks that live in homes, we've had folks that don't live in homes. So at this point, we just don't know.
Chief, what are the ballistics that tie in these homicides? Chief, what are the ballistics that you're talking about that tie in these homicides? Can you comment on that?
We're just going to say that we do have ballistic evidence that interconnects these cases. We're not going to go into depth on that because we don't want to affect the investigation.
Hey Chief, so since the announcement of the 2 new connected cases, we now see kind of an expanded geographic scope into Oakland. I'm curious if you could speak to whether there are other cities that we believe at this point are being targeted. Are there other cases in Oakland or in other surrounding areas?
We're still submitting evidence at this time, which means so far we've gotten some local hits, but as the evidence continues to be processed and examined, it will alert us if there's a match outside of this county or other places.
How many of them are homeless, these victims, Chief, so far?
That I don't know.
Chief, how concerned should the public be?
I think it should be the same level of alertness that we message all the time. All the time we say you'll be aware of your surroundings. All the time we say if you're going to be alone at dark, be with someone else. All the time we say try to be in lighted conditions. These are safety measures that we message consistently, and we always will. So my advice would be just follow that. If you do that, it's very unlikely that you will encounter this person or persons.
Chief, can you give details of that task force? Who makes up that task force?
One thing great about the Stockton Police Department is we're part of every federal and state task force in the area. So what happens is they're used to working together on a regular basis. When something of this magnitude comes up, these are folks that already have working relationships that they direct their their focus onto this task. I spoke with several chiefs in the county. They're all very supportive. We had a large meeting today with the representatives from all the different departments in the state and the federal level. We handed out tasks, responsibilities. As we said, we're getting hundreds of daily tips that are coming in. So we're leaning on our partner agencies to filter through those leads and see which ones are substantial, as well as other tasks that we're partnering with as well. We're also partnering with different labs too for some of the evidence we have.
Since the majority of the victims have been Hispanic, does the police have any reason to believe that this might be related to hate crimes?
We have absolutely no information to that, right? To know if an incident was hate incident or hate crime, we would need to know more as to how it unfolded or what communications were made. And we have no witness that has said this person or persons has ever said anything like that, or even spoken for that matter.
Is there any physical evidence that connects these homicides so far, Chief?
At that, the greatest evidence we have has been our video evidence and our ballistic evidence.
And by looking and watching this person, the way they're walking, the way they carry themselves, does that tell you anything, maybe perhaps psychologically about this person?
No, I am absolutely not a psychological profiler, but what it does tell me is we've seen this person of interest on more than one of the incidences, so it's absolutely someone we want to talk to and need to talk to. And again, we have not seen this person commit a crime or anyone for that matter, but that's what we're looking into. That's why we need the community's help to help bring that person to us.
So they're not a suspect yet? This person is not a suspect, just a person of interest at this point?
Absolutely, a person of interest.
You've seen him in
Absolutely.
Do you have
multiple
any
pieces
idea
of
who
footage.
this is?
You've seen this person in multiple pieces of footage, did you say?
We've seen him in different videos. Yes.
How many, Chief, would you say?
That I don't know.
All at the same incident?
No,
So different incidents?
absolutely.
You've seen the same person?
Are the homeless more at risk because of this person?
Well, to be honest, I would say everyone's at risk. You know,
Especially since they're outside and they're in the dark.
exactly. But I've also been in a lot of encampments where they pull together and are together. So it would take a homeless person. I would say any individual, homeless or not, out on their own, sleeping somewhere or sitting in a car a few hours before they go to work is probably it's not the best thing to do at any moment in time. It's always better to have people around you.
Chief,
What
with the
led
two
you
new-
to Oakland? What led this situation to the Oakland victim?
That was with ballistic evidence.
Hey Chief, so with the
Is that it? I mean, the ballistic evidence, why were you looking in Oakland? Did Oakland contact you? Did you contact Oakland? How did that work?
It's a little bit of background on ballistic evidence is it's entered into a statewide database. And so the hit comes up and then we connect with the agencies that had that hit. So that's how that comes about. It prompts the agency to reach out to another agency.
Hey Chief, with the new kind of time frame that's essentially been established with those two cases, stretching all the way back to April 2021, could we just kind of get a sense of what was going on in that gap? Is it the suspicion that this person kind of went dark, or was this person or people on anyone's radar between that April 2021 and the July 8th of this year?
And it's something I promise you folks is to bring facts. So I have absolutely no answer as to why that pistol went dormant for over 400 days. Absolutely no reason. You know, it could have been more than one person that handled it. We just don't know. That's an awful long time for something to be inactive.
Are
Do you think that is more,
one firearm
it's getting more
in these
bolder?
cases?
They're getting more bolder with the shootings? With the timeline, there was that space, but now they're increasing and getting closer and closer. Do you think they're getting bolder with these murders?
I don't know. I would have to know the mindset of the perpetrator or perpetrators, but I know we are starting to have a little bit of distance from the most recent one, where we've had them happen closer in sequence before.
Chief, with 5 of the 7 victims being Mexican and the lone survivor telling Tsunai Times that she could be mistaken as a Mexican male in the dark, is it possible that the white victim could have possibly also been mistaken as a Mexican male, and that is the prime target?
Oh, absolutely. I absolutely believe If someone appears to be a certain complexion that this person is targeting, that it could almost be any race to fit that complexion, if that's what the shooter's after, absolutely.
Are you dealing with one firearm in this case, and also the surviving female? Was she hit at all, and is she light skinned? And what race do you think that this person of interest is?
To answer your first question, yes, the black female, she was struck. She survived her wounds. She was lighter complected. As far as the complexion race, I just don't know. Again, I'm gonna bring facts that are verified, and I have no clue what that person is or who that person is.
We have time for 2 more questions.
And all the homicides happened within minutes of each other, so are you all targeting, putting resources at that, near that specific location, or how are you handling this?
Yes, we've been heavier during the night hours than we've have been in some time. We have task force, we have all sorts of resources that are on the streets after dark during these hours.
Do you have DNA in this? Any DNA?
At this time, we're still getting a lot of things processed, so we're waiting to hear back on a lot of evidence.
All right, thank you, guys. That will end our press conference.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yes, I just wanted to correct something that was mentioned earlier. I was just brief, and going back to the incident that involved a black female, she had actually biked to the Cameron area and was near a tent when it happened. So she was never inside of a tent and didn't have one, she was coming out of a tent. So I just wanted to get that out there and clarify. She was never inside the tent. The whole encounter happened outside the tent. Okay?
Thank you.
Thank you.